Look, if I'm gonna bash umpires, I should probably start praising them when it's deserved because I want to give credit when credit is due. Two different umpires yesterday, Quinn Wolcott and Chris Siegel, only missed one single call each. So I wanted to tip my cap to those two gentlemen because I know there's a lot of conversation about the electronic strike zone and robot umpires, but clearly they're capable of being good at their job when they try. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. The New York freaking Yankees look absolutely unbeatable right now, and that's because they haven't lost in quite some time. Some history was made in the Astros and the Rangers game, and then at the very end of today's video, we're going to talk about the players of the week, so make sure you watch all the way until then. A reminder, if you're going to any baseball games or concerts, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. Now, unfortunately, we do have to start off the recap with some bad news. Aldaberto Mondesi, one of my favorite players in baseball because he is a true 2020 threat, 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases if he can play a full season, but that has been his biggest bugaboo. He tore his ACL, another season wasted because of injury. At this point, I'm hoping that the Royals move on. I'm hoping that Mondesi finds a new place to play in 2023 because Kansas City just isn't where it's at, and I hope that he comes back better than ever because ACL, none of us like that. Also, real quick, I want to mention that Nolan Arenado has been suspended 2 games after what happened against the Mets a few days ago. Also, Genesis Cabrera of the Cardinals was suspended 1 game as well. If you look at the screen right now, you can see that other players were fined, but Arenado was suspended for inciting a brawl or bench clearing incident. I don't feel like Nolan Arenado really did anything that deserved 2 games. Fine him and move on. Same with Genesis Cabrera. I don't get, well, maybe he tugged down Pete Alonso. I don't know. What do you guys think? Now, before we talk about that Cardinals game, we have to talk about the Braves because Ronald Acuna Jr. was back in the lineup. He got the call at 1 a.m. while he was playing Call of Duty. I thought that was great. He had a huge standing ovation from the fans of Atlanta. He grounded out in his first at-bat, but he was all over the place in this game. We'll talk about that later on. A lot of talk about dead baseballs. Don't tell that to newly acquired dad strength Austin Riley, 430 feet to space. And then also, Dansby Swanson doesn't want to hear that because he clears Austin Riley. This one goes 432 feet as they give Atlanta a 2-1 ball game, and Wright has to come back down to earth. Right? Well, not in this one. Kyle tosses another gem, allowing just 1 earned run and strikes out 8 along the way. He is elite at almost everything out the gate. In K percentage, he is limiting walks, he is avoiding barrels, his spin rate is really good. Kyle Wright right now is the best pitcher in baseball, at least according to these stats. We'll see if he comes back down to earth. Anyways, that's enough of fanboying. Ronald grabs his first hit in the 7th, and I also want to mention he stole 2 bags, so he's already on the move. I cannot wait to see what his season stat line is going to be because if he plays 140 games, the dude is going to end up having 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. I'm calling it right now. Fast forward to the 8th, d'Arnaud and Duvall both grab RBI base hits. They were extra base hits, and Duvall's was a 2-run bomb as the Braves win 5-1. It's just so happy to know that the Braves win as soon as Ronald comes back. The Cardinals and the Diamondbacks, 2 sac flies put St. Louis up early, and then the second is where things get a little bit more juicy. Edman and Goldie both single home a run in the second, and O'Neill makes it 5-0 on another sac fly. Dakota Hudson gets some help from Bader in the 3rd. He makes a great grab against the wall, and Hudson only allowed 1 hit, which I feel like I've been saying that a lot this year in these recaps, whether it's a shutout or he was going 4, 5, 6 innings, only allowing 1 or 2 base hits. I mean, maybe it's the dead baseballs, maybe it's just hitters still warming up after a shortened spring training. So yeah, the offense has been kind of stinky this year. Edman and Goldie pop off again in the 6th, and I just want to mention that Tommy Edman already has a 1.3 F4, which is 6th in baseball, and he's already saved 5 runs defensively. He has a 5 DRS. That is number 1 in baseball, and Tommy Edman is very underrated. The Twins and the Tigers, Minnesota jumps out to an early 2-0 lead, and the Tigers defenders try to break Torkelson's wrist on a couple different throws, throwing inside the baseline where Torkelson has to put his glove in front of the runner. Can we stop that? I need to see a full season from Torkelson. Carlos, Mr. Correa clears him with 1 swing and delivers with his biggest moment so far as a Twin. Urshela singles in another, and Correa grabs another RBI on an infield single in the 6th, and then steals a hit in the 8th. That's why he's so valuable. His stick is going to get it done, but his glove is where he really shines. Now, speaking of valuable, speed is a commodity, and Celestino shows it off on a web gem in center field. Buxton got the day off. The Twins win easy, and they're now sitting at 11-8, and they're 3 games ahead of the Royals. Benny Biceps was the entire KC offense through 5 innings, one off a double to the left side and another on a sac fly later on. Brad Keller, he does allow a run off the bat of Lurie Garcia, but other than that, he was lights out. He allowed 3 hits over 7 innings. Again, a very efficient start from a starting pitcher. He did all of that on just 87 pitches, and the Sox do come back to tie it up on a sac fly, so this one needs free baseball, extra innings, and what a bummer. Get it? Because Aaron Bummer was pitching. I'm sorry, White Sox fans. Anyways, Kansas City scores 3, 1 on a wild pitch, and then a clutch base knock from Kyle Isbell, and Taylor Clark closes it out for his first save, and the Royals again are in second place. The White Sox and the Guardians have been struggling. So let's talk about the Guardians. Even though Miles Straw can cover some ground out there, he was the angel in the outfield yesterday. Well, until Taylor Ward, who was playing right, got back into the box, because this man has been Sammy Sosa against us. He's been so annoying. He singles a run home with the bases loaded, and then Marsh shoots one up the middle for his 15th RBI. A hot take. Brandon Marsh is already a top 20 outfielder in baseball. Trouty, not the flashiest RBI. He gets the job done, I guess, on a double play. And ultimately, Detmers, he gives up just 1 earned run, strikes out 4, and only let 2 Guardians get a base hit. This Angels bullpen has a chance to be elite. Another shutout performance as Rizal induces a double play to notch his 5th save. The Angels have won 5 in a row. The Guardians have lost 7 in a row. So, in honesty, this just proves that the Angels, who just swept the Guardians, and the Yankees just swept the Guardians, they're actually, in my opinion, prime for a breakout year. A lot of people are underrating the Yankees and the Angels. I think they're really good. That's just my opinion, though. Some history was made in this game, but more on that in just a second. Justin Verlander and Martin Perez were cooking folks yesterday. Martin Perez was perfect through the first 6 innings, and Verlander only allowed 1 base runner. I think it was in the 3rd inning, but just 1 base runner through 6. So it was a duel of the ages. Jordan smacks one the other way. So, of course, the perfect game, the shutout, the no-hitter, everything's gone on an RBI single. And Adolis Garcia uses the underrated sac fly to tie it right back up. Kyle Tucker had 7 RBIs in this series, makes it 9 on 1 swing. He's hitting 350 over his last 7, which is crazy because he's still hitting like 196 on the season. That shows just how big of a slump he was in coming into the series. Anyways, that gives Justin Verlander a chance to pick up the W. Corey Seager does make it interesting in the 9th, but ultimately Montero does get the save. My buddy Jeremy Frank on Twitter posted this, a crazy stat. It was the first time ever that a winning pitcher and a losing pitcher were 1st and 2nd in a draft. So Verlander was taken number 2 back in 2004, and Matt Bush was taken number 1. The Yankees and the Orioles. The Yankees are looking for their 6th win in a row, and it started off not looking all that great, but a clutch 5th inning saves Tyon from taking the L. Every single run in this inning was scored off a single. So it just goes to show you that as much as we love power, contact is fun as well. You can win brick by brick. Donaldson grabs an RBI in the 7th, and LeCastro uses that elite speed to score on a wild pitch from Paul Fry, and Paul Fry got fried after this Aaron Judge 3-run nuke. Judge, over his last 167, 44 home runs, and a 150 OPS plus. If this guy started his career 2 or 3 years earlier, or just avoided the injury bug over the course of like 2018 to 2020 when he was healthy, kind of his first healthy season, honestly, he's not going to have 2,000 base hits, but he is a walking 7 to 8 WAR player that he would be pretty much a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame, even though he's never going to reach 2,000 base hits, because he's a defensive monster and offensively one of the best that we've ever seen. 1 run total was scored this entire game. Opener Garrett Whitlock tosses 3 shutout. Scratch that, there was an error that allowed Gurriel to get on, and then Alejandro Kirk sneaks one through the 3rd base and shortstop gap to score Lourdes. Boston doesn't allow a single run the rest of the way, but neither did Alek Manoah and the Jays pen. Manoah had 7 strikeouts, one of the best in MLB at missing barrels and making guys chase. He lowers his season ERA to 1.44. Simber and Romano, they come in and shut the door. So Mr. Romano comes back after blowing his first save in 32 attempts. He earns save number 9, and the Jays have won the first 5 of 7 games against Boston. The Rays and the Mariners. Eugenio Suarez, who is known for his pop, turns on the burners after this ball trampolined over Margot's head. I feel like as a home player, you should know the turf is going to make that ball bounce. Anyways, Brett Phillips ties it up in the bottom of the 2nd, and it slowed up significantly after that. J-Rod got screwed in this at-bat. He was rung up on an awful call at a ball basically at his chin. Brett Phillips was all Tampa Bay needed yesterday, as the Rays used 6 relief pitchers to perfection, only 1 earned run on 6 base hits. So both the Rays and the Mariners are 11-8, and there is so much parity in the American League right now. We don't know who the best team is in that league. San Diego versus Cincinnati. Hosmer laces a missile up the middle for an RBI, and San Diego would have gotten more if Pham didn't save the day, not just once, but but later on, a second time, good for him. I'm hoping that he has a better season defensively and at least hits 20 home runs because I really feel like he deserves that bag because he's been solid over the last few years. It was kind of negated later on in the 6th when he lets a ball get past him and multiple runs score, so it's 5-2, then 6-2 after Alfaro walks with the bases loaded. Machado has another 3-hit day, but says that's not good enough. He grabs an RBI on his 4th hit of the day. Taylor Rogers has been absolutely lights out as the new closer for San Diego, his 7th save, and he has not allowed a single earned run yet. And by the way, Manny Machado is #1 in F4, so I told you guys he was going to be a sneaky MVP guy, and he's proven that, especially with Tatis out. Alec Bohm and Rhys Hoskins are showing yet again that, hey kids, making contact is fun too. Bohm has an RBI on a ground out, and Hoskins gets the job done on a sac fly. But then Alec Bohm quickly reminds us that chicks dig the long ball. He pelts his 2nd home run of the year, driving in his 14th RBI. And look at his baseball savant. The dude is dismantling baseballs again, which is nice to see. Again, Bryson Stott being called up really made Alec Bohm worry about him losing his job. Zach Wheeler was incredible after a slow start. 1 hit on 7 strikeouts over 6 innings. He gets his first W as the Phillies go off for another 4 in the 7th. The Phillies have won 4 in a row, and the Rockies are now showing signs of weakness, especially that bullpen with a nearly 5 bullpen ERA, which is dead last in baseball. The Marlins and the Nationals, Josh Bell with the classic inside-out swing. Kind of, I don't know if this was an emergency swing, but he gets this one to land, and that's all that Trevor Rogers of the Marlins allowed. The lefty-lefty pitching duel was in full effect. You have John Birdie tying it up in the 3rd on an RBI 2-bagger, but it was quiet after that. Rogers ends his day with 4 strikeouts and 1 earned run. Corbin not as fortunate. Patrick allows a base runner in the 7th, and then the bullpen can't bail him out as the man who rakes, Jesus Sanchez, singles in BA, Mr. Brian Anderson. Miguel Rojas scores a huge run on a wild pitch because Washington makes it a 1-run game in the 8th, but Cole Sussler showed up and he gets 4 outs for his first save. And last but not least, before we talk about players of the week, the Brewers and the Pirates. If you were a Brewers fan thinking you could grab a hot dog before the first pitch and not miss anything, yeah, you weren't happy because McCutchen smokes the first pitch of the game. Quintana surprisingly settled down after that, which was a good thing because Freddie Peralta was prime Freddie. 3 hits and 6 another shutout. 6 shutout innings, 3 hits, 0 walks, and had 7 punch-outs. He was on top of his game yesterday. That Brewers rotation is disgusting. Jack Sawinski gets his first career RBI on an infield single, and rookie Diego Castillo knocks in a big insurance run to make it 2-1. Well, I guess it wasn't big enough actually because McCutchen becomes McClutchen, driving home 2 more, so he was all of Milwaukee's offense yesterday. Josh Hader had the day off, so Devin Williams comes in and strikes out the side. No big deal. This is why the Brewers are absolutely terrifying. Freddie is their number 3 starter. He throws 6 scoreless, only allows 3 base hits, and then they can get creative, and they can sometimes throw out an opener and have a full bullpen game. They have so many ways to dominate. Players of the week, let's go ahead and talk about the positional player. We have Anthony Rizzo with 2 doubles, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, and he hit 385. I almost gave it to Mike Trout, maybe even Kyle Tucker, but Anthony Rizzo was my pick. Kyle Wright, he had 2 starts this week, 1 earned run, 19 strikeouts in 13 innings. He finishes just ahead of Logan Gilbert and Pablo Lopez. Also, shout out to Patrick Sandoval, he carved up as well. And then Josh Hader, this was easy. 4 saves this week, and also, did not allow a single base hit, so that is easy work from Mr. Hader. And that does it for today's recap. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. And to end today's video, we're going to show the rest of the web gems. And also, 36 years ago today, Roger Clemens became the first human ever to strike out 20 hitters in a single game.
A new record! Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game. 20.
Softly hit right field. Suzuki coming on. Oh! Rivas, what a play!
Christian Vasquez drives one to right field. Tapia will make the catch.
This is line to center field. Long run. Grichuk. He lays out and makes a great catch. Chance for a double play.
Hot shot. Franco to his left. And he throws the short way to Hernandez. They did that a few times in Philly together, and they just did it very well here in D.C.